Folks, a 48-hour countdown has begun for a stock that's got the market's pulse racing, and especially my own pulse. The stage is set and the players are lined up for a pivotal moment that could redefine the game for Mara Lovely Mara, or as the laymen call her, Marathon Digital Holdings. Yes, you guessed it, folks, Mara's on the verge of a massive shakeup with an earnings report that's just around the corner, coming Wednesday after close. The stakes are high and the Mara could end up much higher. Buckle up as we dissect the market's murmurs, what to expect, and some key strategies to play this earnings report for the Mara Lovely Mara. And just so you know, we'll also be covering what you should be following about another one of our frequently covered ideas, SOUN, which has really been exploding as well ahead of its own catalyst. We literally made a full breakdown video on this just 10 days ago, and it's already gone way over that share price. And I think you're going to value the new insight that I have for you today. And if you appreciate videos like these and want to see more of them, all I ask in return is that you hit that ravishing like button and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, make sure that you do your own due diligence. If you're the one taking the ultimate risk, you got to be the one doing the ultimate frisk. Lots of people, they get real frisky without thinking about their risky and vice versa. Okay, let's go ahead and zero in on the main entree for today, Mara Lovely Mara, a stock that's been making waves and charging up the charts with ferocious energy. Feroci McFeroci. Let's go ahead and rewind a moment back to December when we first spotted the potential for Mara Lovely Mara to make a splash in this momentum cycle. We had our eyes on a couple of big ticket events, the approval of a Bitcoin ETF, which has now been checked off, and the much anticipated Bitcoin halving. These events were expected to pump up Bitcoin's value and by extension companies like Mara to realize some juicy McJuicy upside. And that is exactly what has happened with Mara Lovely Mara having multiple doubling cycles since then. Pretty nice trade. But context, if you're unfamiliar, Marathon Digital Holdings, Mara operates in the cryptocurrency mining sector, which is central to its business model and significantly impacts its revenue and earnings. This model is focused on utilizing specialized computer hardware to validate transactions on blockchain networks such as Bitcoin, and in return, miners are rewarded with newly minted coins. The profitability of this business model is of course closely tied to the price of cryptocurrencies being mined, operational efficiency of the company, and the cost of electricity, since mining requires substantial computational power and energy consumption. Now that's the rundown on Mara, and Mara has earnings coming on Wednesday. So what are the expectations? Well, going into this, we know that Mara has been super responsible, fiscally speaking. For example, it completed a $417 million note exchange back in September, which reduced its long-term debt by 56% and secured approximately $101 million in cash savings for its shareholders, which is going to make Mara look really good in coming reports. On top of that, further investment into the business model is going to help position Mara favorably in anticipation of the Bitcoin halving event coming in April. The company said it aimed to reach 26 exahash by the end of 2023, which we'll see if they did that. Okay, but let's go ahead and go into the figures. So for the current quarter ending in December 2023, analysts have set expectations for Marathon Digital Holdings to achieve an earnings per share EPS of 4 cents. This figure represents the average estimate from a group of 8 analysts. The revenue for the same period is expected to average at $143.28 million, according to estimates from those same 8 analysts. Now, these figures suggest a significant year-over-year growth in both earnings and revenue, reflecting the analysts' optimism about the company's performance. These expectations highlight the analysts' view of Mara's potential to capitalize on the cryptocurrency market conditions, the froth and euphoria in it right now, and to capitalize on its new operational efficiencies. But let's not sugarcoat it, folks. Mara's had her doubters. Some analysts are betting against them pretty heavily, and there's a lot of short sellers shorting this, which is creating a massive squeeze. And a lot of people from the previous crypto winter cycle bet heavily against anything crypto, and they haven't really changed their minds yet, even though they're eating all of these losses. Time and time again, the crypto world, the crypto markets, and crypto miners like Mara Lovely Mara have gone into massive winters. The naysayers have made tons of money, and then all of a sudden the naysayers have gotten punched in the throat. And right now we're in that cycle where they are getting punched in the throat, and it's only going to get worse for them until we peak, which likely won't happen until after halving. If you look at Mara's latest reported earnings, it was a jaw dropper with a 450% surprise that left short sellers gobsmacked and crying like little babies. And looking again at the projections for the coming report, you may see another surprise just like this one. The revenue forecast is all over the map, from $111.4 million on the low end to $157 million up top. Folks, that's a very huge spread, which means analysts don't know what the heck they're looking at here. They're either biased or their eyes are closed, and they don't know how to analyze Mara Lovely Mara, which means that when they actually report earnings, there's a lot of potential for surprise, either to the upside or the downside. Really, what you should be concerned about if the report isn't a complete beat is a short attack. There's a lot of short sellers in this, and they have an incentive to make sure this stock goes as close to the ground as possible. As we know, short sellers sellers like to play a lot of tricks. If an earnings report comes out and it's not beats all across the board where markets have to acknowledge euphoria, well, all of a sudden then short sellers will try to spin it and say, oh, this is really, really bad, and then everybody panic sells out and short sellers come out with a profit. But overall, I mean, the trend trajectory is pretty damn clear. And as we gear up for earnings, the question isn't just if Mara will beat expectations, but also what kind of growth story they'll tell looking forward. They've got some pretty aggressive plans to broaden their horizons and improve their infrastructure, and I believe it's going to create a massive, massive growth trajectory for the stock. Okay, let's go ahead and talk the chart. So I fully anticipate Mara to barrel over cycle highs at $31 before earnings on Thursday. The question is if she can maintain those levels in the aftermath. It's common for stocks that run into earnings to fall shortly after, even if the earnings are good. But I'd argue that's just going to end up getting bought up anyways, because the real anticipation with the stock is the Bitcoin halving event coming in April. And Bitcoin market and corresponding crypto miners tend to rally before and after halving. In fact, they always have. And that's why I've been vocal about the next cycle high coming from Mara stock. So what's a good price for Mara? Well, I don't think you're going to be able to get a good price from a risk standpoint for Mara unless she dips back to the very low 20s. I'm just going to say it like it is. I think at this point, if you're buying Mara, it's simply to ride momentum with a stop loss and then get out. We've covered her below 20 not so long ago. We've covered her in the low 20s, and we've said this over and over again. The time to get it is in the low 20s, and really, especially if it's below 20. So again, I think at this point, if you're buying Mara, it's simply to ride momentum with a very tight stop loss and then get out. Mara should easily break into the high 30s and low 40s in the coming quarter. If you remember back, our original thesis in January was that Mara would hit $35 new cycle highs in early 2024, and I really think that's undershooting it. I think you're looking at closer to 45 to 50. But of course, as traders, we can't just look at high price targets and say that's going to happen. We have to see proof of concept of being able to first break crucial cycle highs at $31 first. So my take, well, if you're in at a lower price, I'd argue a trailing stop loss and an expectation for more momentum is key. If you're not in at this point, the risk averse strategy would be simply to wait until right after earnings euphoria dies off, buy shortly after, and then ride the momentum into April. Now, if you're somebody itching for more short-term momentum and can stomach the risk with, again, a strategic tight stop loss, well, I'd argue the play would be to put a little bit of dough to ride the anticipation wave heading into earnings on Wednesday and then sell out right before the release. Okay, let's talk risks. Tomorrow's stock. Number one, volatility in Bitcoin prices. Marathon's business model is closely tied to the price of Bitcoin. And of course, the cryptocurrency market, especially Bitcoin, is known for its high volatility, and significant fluctuations in Bitcoin prices can directly impact Marathon's profitability and revenue. We can talk about more going up as much as we want, but again, that's just a speculation. And quite frankly, it's based on historical data in terms of halving and based on the overall market trend right now. But things can change. You could have a war, you could have this or that, and that could cause more to go down. You never know. So that's something to think about. Number two, regulatory risks. I think this is a big risk factor that's also out of our control. The cryptocurrency industry is subject to evolving regulatory environments across different jurisdictions. Changes in regulations, especially those concerning cryptocurrency mining and transactions, could pose operational and financial risks to Marathon. Number three, operational risks. Marathon's operational efficiency, including its hash rate and energy costs, play a crucial role in its success. Any disruptions or inefficiencies in mining operations can adversely affect its financial outcomes and have in the past. The company's all-in cost per BTC mined is a critical metric that investors should monitor because, quite frankly, that is what drives her overall picture and her business model. So what do you think about Mara Lovely? Mara, is she a buy heading into earnings? Are you going to trade her? Are you a holder? Did you sell her? Let us know down below. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to an update on SOUN. So SOUN AI just broke out into another new cycle high this morning. We love SOUN, and it's been a top AI stock for us since the beginning of last year. But quite frankly, after it popped on NVIDIA ownership stake news, I expected to see it take a big breathing cycle before a new cycle high. But here we are. And as SOUN AI gears up for this earnings report coming Thursday, well, the market is buzzing with anticipation. So what actually is SOUN? Well, if you're new here, SOUN AI is a notable player in the voice artificial intelligence sector that has made significant strides in recent times, marking its territory in the evolving AI landscape. What can you expect from the upcoming earnings report? Well, SOUN AI's journey has been quite insane, with a record third quarter showcasing a revenue increase to $13.3 million, reflecting a 57% improvement in adjusted EBITDA. This performance underscores the company's effective cost management and operational efficiency, with total operating expenses witnessing a 27% reduction. That's pretty solid, folks. These figures suggest a pretty damn resilient business model, bouncing right into the current AI euphoria. SOUN AI anticipates fourth quarter 2023 revenue to be in the range of 16 to 20 million, alongside an optimistic projection of achieving adjusted EBITDA positivity in the same quarter. Now, I want to give you 10 reasons why you may just want to be bullish on SOUN stock for the rest of 2024. Number one, innovative voice AI solutions. SOUN AI specializes in advanced voice AI technologies that enable seamless conversational experiences across various industries, including automotive, Internet of Things, and customer service sectors. Number two, record revenue growth. The company reported a significant increase in revenue revenue to $13.3 million in a recent quarter, alongside a remarkable 57% improvement in adjusted EBITDA year over year, demonstrating strong financial health and operational efficiency. SOUN AI has forged partnerships with notable brands such as Jersey Mike, showcasing its ability to attract and retain high-profile clients. Continuous product innovation with offerings like smart answering, smart ordering, and dynamic interaction. SOUN AI is at the forefront of delivering innovative AI-driven products that cater to the evolving needs of businesses and consumers alike. The company projects revenue in the range of $16 to $20 million for the fourth quarter of 2023, which we'll see shortly, and anticipates becoming adjusted EBITDA positive within the same period, indicating strong performance, which is something else to look at for this quarter and why SOUN stock can really bounce if it reports that and really go down if it doesn't. You also want to look at market leadership and competitive edge with its comprehensive suite of voice AI solutions and a commitment to continuous innovation. SOUN AI is pretty well positioned to maintain and expand its leadership in the competitive AI market. The biggest thing, though, that you want to pay attention to is investor interest and financial backing. Recent financial developments, such as NVDA disclosing a stake in SOUN, signal growing investor interest and confidence in the company's market position and future growth projects, but are a huge reason that people are watching the stock right now and make it very, very likely to break out if it reports anything good, because they're thinking, well, NVDA believes in them. NVDA is the biggest Euphoria stock ever. So look, SOUN should also start getting some of that benefit. So anyways, looking ahead as SOUN AI approaches its earnings release, the overarching narrative is one of cautious optimism mingled with the practical challenges of operating in the competitive AI industry. The company's ability to meet or exceed its projected revenue and EBITDA targets will be crucial for sustaining investor confidence and supporting its growth trajectory that it's had. Moreover, the management's strategic decisions, operational efficiency, and market expansion efforts will be under scrutiny as shareholders seek to gauge the company's long-term viability in the rapidly evolving AI landscape. So in conclusion, SOUN AI's upcoming earnings will be pivotal for the company and pivotal for the stock price. So make sure that you're watching it. Anyways, that caps off today's video. Make sure to hit that ravishing like button and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.